that well. So these are some of the hurdles they face in this specific module, but rest assured that if you practice a lot, you will definitely be able to complete it in time. Okay, so in IELTS writing module, basically there are two tasks, both in IELTS general training and IELTS academic. We have already discussed IELTS general training in separate videos, so let's jump straight towards the IELTS academic one. In IELTS academic one, the task one is about a summary. It's usually a formal speech, and you will be presented with a graph or a diagram or a flow chart, which you have to write a summary about. Okay, and task two is about an essay. You will be given a topic. It could be about current affairs or anything in general, and you will have to write an essay about that topic. Okay, this should also be formal. Now, one thing to be very careful about, that you have to follow a word limit for each of these tasks. For task one, that is the summary, you will have to write minimum 250 words, and for task two, that is the essay, you have to write a minimum of 250 words. Okay, so for task one, minimum 150 words, and for task two, minimum 250 words. Okay, this is the said word count for yourself, and you have to be very careful about this. If you write below this word count, you will definitely lose some marks, and there is no upper limit. You can write as much as you want, but you should write less than this. Okay, so as I said, that the number of tasks in both the modules is the same. The only difference is the task one. In IELTS general training, we discussed about that as well. And IELTS general training, the last one is about a letter, whereas in IELTS academic training, which we are going to study today, and the task one is about a summary. Okay. The essay part is almost the same. The only difference is that your tone or topic is usually formal in IELTS academic, whereas in IELTS general, it's semi-formal or neutral. All right. So then comes the medium of attempting the IELTS writing module. There are two mediums allowed: computer delivered and paper delivered. There is no basic difference in structure of the module in these both mediums. It's totally up to you, whatever you are comfortable with. You can decide which medium or which mode of test you want to choose. It's totally up to your comfort. If you are more comfortable in giving the exam on computer, you should choose computer based, and if you have a good writing speed on paper, then you should choose paper based. Okay, but comparatively, most of the students choose computer based because their typing speed is a bit more than their writing speed. So there is no basic difference in the structure of the test. The only difference is in the medium you are giving the test. All right. Hussein, my screen is not showing. Can you not see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, your screen is showing for me.
Okay, all right. Okay. So let's move forward. Your assessment criteria, as we have discussed, that the assessment criteria is basically the same for all the 4 modules of IELTS. You are assessed on 4 things basically. The number 1 is task achievement, that how well you understood what you were asked for and how well you delivered your answer. Okay. The second thing is coherence and cohesion, that how well your answer was linked, or how well your answer was organized in terms of have you gone out of track while writing it or not. So that's what is meant by coherence and cohesion. And the third one is lexical resource, or in simple words, you can say vocabulary. So your vocabulary should be very good. You should use different kinds of words. You should have a good grip on a wide range of vocabulary. That can also give you some bonus points. The fourth one is grammatical range and accuracy. Okay, so while writing the answer, you should be very careful about your grammar, like how widely you are able to use your grammar, like sentences, past tense, present tense, complex sentences, and how accurate you write the answer in those sentences. Okay, by accuracy, you can just say that the use of articles, prepositions, punctuation marks, where you should write the capital letter, where you should write the small letters. Okay, So all these four things are, your assessment criterias. The examiner is assessing your answers, is assessing your, tasks based on these four things. Okay. So these four things are basically the same in every module, but, the approach is a little bit different. Okay. Now, how you can score higher? As I said, that the minimum word count for task 1 is 150, and the minimum word count for task 2 is 250. Also, I should add one more thing here, that the weightage of task 2 is more than task 1. Okay, by that I mean that if you look up the scoring criteria of your IELTS exam, basically what they do is they whatever you have scored in task 1, they consider that value and they plus it with whatever you have scored in task 2, but twice. Okay, for example, in task 1 you have scored 6, and in task 2 the essay you have scored 7. So the total score of your IELTS writing module would be 6 plus 7 plus 7. So the score of the essay would be counted twice. That means the weightage of the essay is more than task 1. All right. So you should not spend more than 20 minutes on task 1. Usually the summary is relatively shorter. Just consider like it consists of like 2 to 3 paragraphs, and writing 150 words is not that hard. All right. So you should not spend more than like 20 minutes. And you should leave the rest of the 40 minutes for task 2, so you can just write the essay comfortably, and you have, like, if you have time left, then you can just reread the essay and spot out or point out any mistakes you have made in the first attempt. Okay, so that allows you to revise the essay as well. Okay, so as I said, it is considered a bit difficult because some people are unable to come up with ideas at the spot. For example, if you are given a topic for the essay, it's hard for you to think about the ideas you are going to write in the paragraph. So it is considered a bit difficult in terms of that. But as I said, practice makes you perfect. You will be given some practice exercises which you should attempt, and that will definitely help you to get more command over this module. Okay, so that's the basic criteria. Let me dive deeper into this. Can you see my screen?
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's wait for a second.
Yes, ma'am, your screen is showing.
Okay, all right. So let's dive deeper into the IELTS academic writing module now. I will give a quick recap for your understanding. As we have discussed, that there are 2 tasks which you have to attempt in 60 minutes. And the task 1 is a summary, and the task 2 is an essay. For summary, you should write minimum 150 words, and for essay, you should write minimum 250 words. Okay, so I hope everything's clear till now. Can we move forward?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I have clear.
Okay. Now, we should start with task 1. As I said, in task 1, you can be provided with a graph or a chart, some kind of diagrams or maps or tables, and you have to summarize the information given to you in those, pictorial form. Okay, so you can be presented with one graph or more than one graphs, and it could be about a machine or a process, anything, and you have to write summary of that particular thing in a formal or semi-formal tone. All right, so the graphs should look like this. They are like majorly a comparison between two like quantities or two countries, things like that. The next one could be there is like a random pointer markings on my screen. Can you see that as well, Zara? Zara, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'm not pointing all these things. I'm not like using my pointer right now. Can you please solve this issue?
Okay.
All right. Okay, so the next could be, pie charts in the form of this, in which you are given, details or percentages of different values, and you have to, summarize the information or compare. If there are two pie charts, you have to compare both of them. So these kind of questions can also come. The next one is, wait a second. The next one could look like this. It's also a graph, but it's an irregular graph, and you can be asked to, compare all those quantities with each other, like which one is the most stable over throughout these years, or which one is, fluctuating the most, like these kind of things. The next one is a map. Now I have used only one map here, but you can be given like two maps. One could be of a particular place some years ago, and the other one could show a proposed plan of the reconstruction of that particular area. So you can be asked about the summary, that what changes are you seeing in the proposed plan. Okay, so things like that as well. The next one is also a map. So it's basically a diagram of a continent or an island. So such type of questions can also come. Okay. Zara, can you see my screen? Hello? Okay, I am also seeing some kind of whiteboard here. I don't know what's the issue. I'm unable to share my screen. Can you see it right now? Can you see my screen, guys? Can you please let me know in chat or by unmuting yourself?
No, ma'am, your screen is not showing for anywhere, any person.
Okay. Let me just stop
Only the
sharing.
whiteboard showing.
I don't know who is sharing the whiteboard, because I am certainly not sharing that. Let me share the screen again. Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, all right. We can continue then. Okay. So these were some kinds of, examples you can get in the form of graphs or tables. We will discuss each and every one with examples in a bit. But Hassan, I think you had a question. Yes, ma'am, I understand the informal. Okay. So as we discussed, then formal is something that you are writing to a person who is who is basically a head of an organization, and you have to write them in a professional way, not in a frank way. Okay, and informal is the quite opposite of that. In semi-formal, you can say that you can use some informal
Ma'am,
sentence.
your screen is showing, but the text is not showing. Just a simple slide.
Okay.
No any text are showing.
Saira, you are drawing some lines on the screen. Can you please remove your pointer option? Saira, can you hear me? I think you have mistakenly, turned on your pointer. Can you please just turn that option off? Because that is okay. You are underlining, but that is being shown to everyone right here. आप ना उस ऑप्शन को बंद कर दो, फिर वो यहाँ पे नहीं शो होगी लाइंस. No problem. वहाँ पे इरेजर का ऑप्शन होगा. You can use that to undo this. Okay. So how to attempt the summary? Sorry, I was talking about the semi-formal So what I was saying is that you understand the difference between formal and informal, right? In semi-formal, you can say that you can use a few sentences like informally, but basically the whole tone or your way of talking should be professional. Okay, for example, if you are writing to a neighbor, he's not your friend, or he's not your relative, or also he's not your boss or something. Okay, so you will still talk with him in a respectful manner, but you will not use your sincerely or faithfully or things like that, or you will not just use hey, how are you doing, because you're not that frank with him. So that is semi-formal, is a mixed balance between the formal and informal basically. But you, whenever you are attempting these kind of summaries, you should just focus on your formal tone. Okay, formal is always good to proceed with. Do not get confused in semi-formal or stuff like that. You should just proceed with formal. Okay, so
Yes, miss. Perfect.
all right. So the structure for writing the summary is, same for all types of data you are provided with, whether it be a graph or a table or anything like that. The structure of the summary would be same. Okay, what is the structure? First of all, you have to write the introduction. What can be the introduction? You just have to reword the summary. Okay, we will discuss it in detail in a bit, but whatever you are asked in the question, just use different words, or rephrase the whole statement and use that as your introduction. Okay, the introduction is basically to tell the reader what you are going to write about. Okay, so it's the same thing you are being asked in the question, right? So you just need to rephrase the question and write it as the introduction. Okay, the next thing is overview. All right, you are seeing two pie charts in front of you, so you can just give a basic overview of the percentages you are seeing in both of them, and you can just compare them to give a like brief idea of what the pie charts are talking about. For example, if they are talking about pollution in 2008 and 2019, and the difference between in these 10 years or 11 years, so you can just describe the overview as that we can see the difference in the pollution, the country involvement in pollution in 2008 and 2019. Okay, so you can just choose these kind of overview to describe the both pie charts. All right. The next one is key features. After you're done with the introduction and the overview, then you have to give the details. That's very important. Even though it's a summary, but you should just write the details of some basic and prominent events that are being happening in the diagram or in the pie chart. Okay, so you should highlight the important features. If there are any numbers or any percentages, for example, USA is producing highest number of robots per year, so you should mention that. Okay, if China is followed by USA, it's in the second number, you should mention that as well. Okay, you can leave the rest of the countries who are making a small change or are not basically affecting the whole trends, but you should highlight the important features. Okay, for example, we can take an example of this map. Let me just move my panel here. Okay, so you are provided with two maps. Okay, we have a chart as well. Yeah, that's right, Hassan. Okay, so we are provided with two maps here. Those two maps are of the same area, south side, but the left map shows you the current situation of the south side, like the current map of the south side. But in the right one, you can see the planned development that would be happen in the future for the south side. Okay, so there you can just you can just write an overview of that. There are like many differences and many changes that are about to happen or that are about to occur. Now, what are the most prominent changes that, as you can see, can you see my, let me just quickly enable my pen. Okay, as you can see, there was a golf course. There is a golf course right now in the south side. Okay, but in the future development, which is like planned for future, there is no golf course there. Okay, that has been completely eliminated. That's one of the most prominent changes I can see. Okay, so if you look closely, other things can be that instead of the department store has been, it was very small before, and then it has taken a very large space. So the area of the department store has been increased. The next thing is, okay, this is also a prominent change. The car parking has been, the area of car parking has been increased. So the entrance is the same. There has been another entrance that has been initiated for like more people who wants to directly visit the department store. So they can use this entrance. So these are like 2 or 3 main changes, the most prominent changes I can see. Okay. Then you will write the key features of both of these maps. Okay. So you gave the introduction, like whatever you are asked in the question, you just reword it. You gave the introduction in 2 to 3 lines. Then you wrote the overview. What are the prominent changes you have been seeing here? And then the key features. For example, if you are given with one map, you will only need one paragraph to describe all the key features. But if you are given 2 maps, such as in this case, you will need to write each paragraph for key features for each one of the maps. Okay. For example, first write the paragraph for the present day of the south side. Like you can say that there was a lot of open area left. In the present day, there was a golf course and a park for kids, or that was the most prominent change. And then you can say that there was a cinema as well that has been eliminated, because I cannot see any cinema in the future. So also the car parking was relatively short, and there was a lot of issue for people to park their cars. So the car parking will be increased in the future. So one paragraph would be the key features about south side present day, and the next paragraph would be key features about the south side of future. Okay, the planned development. What are the developments? There would be, a gift shop would be created, a shoe store would be created, the cosmetic store would be created, because these were not present before. All right, the number of shops were very less. All right, the play area has been eliminated because there is a beauty salon instead of that. Okay, so that's how you should attempt the maps questions. Okay, so I hope you have understood my point. Current and previous south side showing in both maps. Okay, ma'am. All right. Okay, let's move on with the next example. Let's take this example of a pie chart. Again, you are provided with 2 pie charts here. So it's definitely a comparison. The first pie chart shows that boys' cultural and layered activities, and the second one shows the girls' cultural and layered activities. Okay, so it's the difference or comparison between boys and girls. So how would you start that? You will just write the introduction. How would you write the introduction? Whatever you are asked in the question, just reword or rephrase it and use the same line or same sentence as the as that of the question in the answer. We often used to do this in our childhood as well. In order to increase the word count, we often used to, if it's a word short answer question, you will just write the whole question part in the answer, and you will just write the one word answer at the end. Okay, so that's also you have to do here. Just don't use the same words, just rephrase or summarize it, and your vocabulary matters a lot in this one. Okay, so let's see the basic trends here. Introduce the pie charts first of all. Okay, write what do they summarize. So Hussein, can you please let me know what do these 2 pie charts summarize, or what are they talking about?
Yes, ma'am, it is a pie chart. You can provide the information about this chart, just like summarize the chart, focus on this chart, and then summarize your questions or your introduction, overview, and key features.
Okay, but ये pie charts में information किस बारे में आपको दी गई है?
मैम इसमें तो काफी चीजों के बारे में दी गई है, कंप्यूटर के बॉयज के लिए हो गया और हमारी गर्ल्स के लिए हो गया.
यस, तो बेसिक जो आपका मतलब इंट्रोडक्शन होना चाहिए वो आप बता सकते हो कि जो बॉयज की एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज हैं, कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज या आउटसाइड जो एक्टिविटीज हैं, वो क्या क्या हैं और गर्ल्स की क्या क्या है. ठीक है, तो बेसिकली कंपैरिजन ये है, वो आपका इंट्रोडक्शन हो गया. ठीक है. The next is write a general overview. All right, so as you can see that there is a high amount of high ratio of boys who play basketball as their extracurricular or layer activities, but instead in case of girls there are a lot of percentage of girls that do the dancing. Okay, so that's the main prominent point here. Okay, the second one is the listening to music. Both you can see it's the same for both boys and girls. 10% of boys listening to music as well as the girls as well. So it's the same. You can also mention this because that's a prominent thing. Now, as you can see, the most basic comparison I can see is that boys play a lot of boys play computer games instead of girls. Okay, 34% of yes.
High score boys playing the game computer games.
Yes. So in all of the percentages, the lot of boys, the highest percentage is of the computer games. Okay, so that's that you should definitely mention. And whereas in case of girls, only 16% plays the computer games. Okay. Now आप दूसरी चीज ये लिख सकते हो कि गर्ल्स में सबसे ज्यादा जो चीज की जा रही है एज अ एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर एक्टिविटी वो है डांसिंग. ओके, बिकॉज डांसिंग की परसेंटेज सबसे ज्यादा है. ठीक है. और रीडिंग उसके बाद लाइक रीडिंग फॉलोज आफ्टर डांसिंग, बट एज यू कैन सी दैट द रेशियो ऑफ गर्ल्स हु डज रीडिंग is lot more than the ratio of boys who does reading. Okay, बहुत prominent फर्क है, 21% and 2%. Okay,
Zero.
so that's a basic overview. All right, so आपने introduction दे दिया, आपने overview दे दिया, अब आपने पहले चार्ट को डिस्क्राइब करना है एंड देन दूसरे चार्ट को डिस्क्राइब करना है. की फीचर्स आपने उनके बताने हैं. ओके, तो जब आप बॉयज वाले चार्ट की बात कर रहे होंगे, whenever you are talking about the boys cultural and layer activities, you will start with the highest ratios, that is the computer games. Then you can tell the second most played game, that is basketball. And you don't have to mention each and every percentage, just use the data or facts about the main prominent ones, and then you can say that the least amount of boys show interest in reading. Okay, because only 2% does reading. Okay, so ये आपका की फीचर्स हो गए सारे बॉयज कल्चरल एंड लेयर एक्टिविटीज के बारे में. एंड सिमिलरली आप फिर गर्ल्स की एक्टिविटीज के बारे में दूसरा पैराग्राफ लिखेंगे. ठीक है,
प्रोसेस होगा गर्ल्स में भी.
सॉरी
मैम सेम ही प्रोसेस होगा ना, मतलब गर्ल्स में भी बॉयज में भी.
जी जी, सेम प्रोसेस होगा बिल्कुल. आप फॉर एग्जांपल गर्ल्स की अगर आप बात करते हैं तो आप स्टार्ट करेंगे कि गर्ल्स में सबसे ज्यादा जो रेशियो है वो डांसिंग की तरफ जो है, मतलब गर्ल्स को डांसिंग में ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट है. एंड दे आल्सो डू अ लॉट ऑफ रीडिंग एज वेल, बिकॉज दैट इज द सेकंड मोस्ट प्रोमिनेंट थिंग. और सबसे कम जो चीज है वो क्या हो रही है गर्ल्स में, मतलब सबसे जो कम रेशियो है वो किस चीज?
मैम लिसनिंग टू म्यूजिक.
हाँ, सबसे कम जो है रेशियो लिसनिंग टू म्यूजिक की, तो आप उसकी रेशियो एक बता दोगे. ठीक है, बाकी आप कह सकते हो कि a moderate amount of girls also do gymnastics or netball, because that is almost similar, 11% and 15%, and also computer games, that is 16%. तो उसको आप इस तरह मेंशन कर सकते हो. आपको परसेंटेज सिर्फ जो देनी है वो प्रोमिनेंट चीजों की देनी है, कि सबसे ज्यादा कौन सी चीज हो रही है, सबसे कम कौन सी चीज हो रही है, और कौन सी चीज सेम है. That can also be a point, because we can see that one thing is same in both the pie charts.
Yes.
Okay, so basically आपको 150 words like write करने हैं, and you can easily do that by following this structure. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Example of, okay, this is the model answer for the example we just discussed. तो सबसे पहले इंट्रोडक्शन की बात करते हैं. The introduction can be the two pie charts draw the conclusion of a survey of boys and girls cultural and layer activities. Okay, one line, and most probably this was the same line asked in the question, but in the introduction you just have to rephrase it. Okay, first point, introduction is done. Then the second is overall overview. So overall, equal quantities of both sexes enjoyed listening to music, but a dramatically larger number of girls liked reading. ओके, एक ओवरव्यू बता दिया. जो बेसिक डिफरेंस नजर आ रहा था ना, कि जो सेम चीज है वो तो लिसनिंग टू म्यूजिक है, लेकिन बहुत ज्यादा लड़कियां जो हैं वो रीडिंग की तरफ मुतवज्जे हैं, उनको रीडिंग में इंटरेस्ट है. ओके, देयर वर आल्सो मेनी डिफरेंसेस इन टर्म्स ऑफ द चिल्ड्रन प्रेफर्ड स्पोर्ट्स. ओके अब आप देख सकते हो कि जो स्पोर्ट्स हैं सारी स्पोर्ट्स सेम नहीं है. All right. For example, in boys, the sports are basketball, soccer, skateboarding, and yeah, that's all. Whereas in girls, it's dancing, gymnastics, netball, and yep. So both the sports in both the cases are not the same. तो इसको भी आप एक चीज consider कर सकते हो. Okay. Whatever you understand from the information provided. All right.
Yes, ma'am,
Then
all
you
right.
will write a paragraph about each of the pie chart. Okay. For example, returning to the first chart, we can observe that the boys prefer playing computer games, 34% participation rate, than taking a trade activity. तो उन्होंने सबसे पहले जो सबसे important चीज थी जो सबसे ज्यादा की जा रही थी उसके बारे में mention कर दिया. Okay. Playing basketball comes as the second most popular layer, practiced by almost a third of male children. And basketball is followed by soccer, which is exercised by 17%. Skateboarding and listening to music are less preferable activities. ठीक है अब सबकी उन्होंने परसेंटेजेस नहीं दी बस उन्होंने एक सीक्वेंस बता दिया कि सबसे ज्यादा कंप्यूटर गेम्स थी देन बास्केटबॉल थी which was followed by soccer and skateboarding and listening to music. Okay, chosen by 11% and 10% of boys respectively. Reading, the least popular cultural activity among boys, represents only 2%. Okay. तो यहाँ पे मतलब उन्होंने सबकी कुछ ज्यादातर की उन्होंने परसेंटेज दी हुई है बट इट्स नॉट इम्पोर्टेंट. आपको अगर बेसिक आपका जो मकसद है वो ये बताना है कि बेसिक जो डिफरेंसेस हैं दोनों बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स के एक्टिविटीज के वो क्या हैं. तो उसमें आप सिर्फ प्रोमिनेंट जो फर्स्ट 2 या 3 हैं और जो सबसे लीस्ट हैं वो भी मेंशन करो. दैट्स ऑल राइट. The second paragraph would talk about the girls' pie chart. Okay, taking a closer look at the second chart, we can see that girls' most preferred activity is dancing, being 27% of the total. In contrast to the boys' preferences, reading is chosen by more than a fifth of all girls. Okay, वही दो चीजें जो prominent थी वो हमने पहले बता दी. ठीक है, अब जरूरी नहीं कि आप सिर्फ परसेंटेज की फॉर्म में इसको बताओ. ठीक है, उन्होंने जिस तरह 1/5 बोला हुआ है या यहाँ पे उन्होंने बोला हुआ है playing basketball is 1/3 of male children. तो आप इस तरह भी मतलब आप मतलब पूरी 100% का आप एक एस्टिमेट लगा लो कि कितना हिस्सा है इस पाई चार्ट का जो ये काम कर रहा है. 1/3 है, 2/3 है, जितना भी है वो आप इस तरह मेंशन कर सकते हो. ठीक है. Although percentage of female children who play computer games is roughly twice as that of the boys, this activity is third most popular on the girls chart. अब ठीक है, अब आपको ये चीजें जो है ना आपने इन्फॉर्मेशन तो देख ली, आपने इन्फॉर्मेशन अंडरस्टैंड भी कर ली, लेकिन एक चीज जो है जो टास्क अचीवमेंट में आती है व्हिच इज असेसमेंट क्राइटेरिया, वो ये है कि आप कितनी इफेक्टिवली उस इन्फॉर्मेशन को समझ के आप अपने आंसर पे लिखते हो. ठीक है, अब इफ यू लुक एट दिस मॉडल आंसर, you can see that there are different ways to write the same thing. Okay, ये चीज आपको थ्रू प्रैक्टिस आती है कि अगर आपने सिंपली एक बात लिखनी है कि यार 37% जो है वो कंप्यूटर गेम्स खेलते हैं बॉयज, तो आप खाली ये स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड ये लाइन ना लिख दो. ये उसको कहने का एक ये भी तरीका है कि वी कैन ऑब्जर्व दैट बॉयज प्रेफर प्लेइंग कंप्यूटर गेम्स द मोस्ट. ओके, दैट इज द ब्रैकेट में आप लिखते हो 34% पार्टिसिपेशन रेट. ठीक है, तो इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग इट स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड आप इस तरह जरा बात को जरा लंबा करने के लिए भी यूज कर सकते हो कि आप इस तरह के सेंटेंसेस जरा कॉम्प्लेक्स सेंटेंसेस आप यूज कर लो टू गिव द इंफॉर्मेशन. ओके, सो ये चीज जो है ये आपको एग्जांपल्स दी जाएंगी, आपको टास्क दिए जाएंगे, वो आपने जरूर अटेम्प्ट करने और देन यू विल गो फ्रॉम देयर कि इसमें क्या क्या चीजें बेहतर हो सकती हैं. ओके. Then they say that with the slight difference between computer games and netball, the latter is practiced by 15% rate. Similarly to skating board, popularity among boys, 11% of the girls go in for gymnastics. तो ये सारी चीजें मतलब जो जो आपने देखी हैं एग्जैक्ट आपने वही उठा के यहाँ पे लिख देनी है. अब अगर आप इसका ओवरऑल व्यू लो, इफ यू लुक एट दिस समरी, it is definitely more than 150 words. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is it's not that hard to come up with ideas. For example, in task 1 it's not that hard. Okay, you just have to write what you are seeing or what you are getting in the question in form of like charts or flow diagrams or maps. So you don't have to come up with ideas of your own to write in the answer. So that's one benefit of this. So you should not spend much time on this one particular task, and you should keep like more of the ratio of the time for the essay part. All right. So
Yes, ma'am, all right.
Okay, so there is another example. This is of let me just move my panel. Okay. So as the question says, the chart below shows the number of men and women in further education in Britain in 3 periods and whether they were studying full-time or part-time. Okay. So they have give us an idea of what the graph is about. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Okay, so अब ये जो है ये आपका task है. I'll just give you an overview of what is happening here. पहले तो सबसे पहले तो for introduction you have just need to rephrase this part for your introduction. All right. They have told you what the chart is about, but you have to also tell the reader what you are writing about. So just use the same sentence, just change the words, and you will be good to go. All right. You can say that we are going to describe the trends of women and men for further education in 3 periods and whether they were studying for full-time or part-time. Okay, so just rephrase the words and you are good with the introduction. Now, what are the basic trends, the most prominent trends we can see here? Would anyone like to tell me, Zara or Saira, anyone? Hussain?
Yes, ma'am. Can I repeat again?
या आप मुझे बता सकते हैं कि इस ग्राफ में आपको सबसे प्रोमिनेंट चीजें क्या क्या नजर आ रही हैं, मतलब क्या क्या हो रहा है? आपको ये तो अंदाजा हो गया ना कि ग्राफ है किस बारे में, ठीक है? मतलब औरतों और मर्दों की रेशियो बताई गई है कि इन 3 जो पीरियड्स ऑफ टाइम है इनमें इनकी रेशियो क्या थी एम्प्लॉयमेंट, कितने लोग फुल टाइम काम कर रहे थे, कितने लोग पार्ट टाइम काम कर रहे थे, ठीक है? अगर आप यहाँ पे नीचे देखो तो जो डार्क वाले ग्राफ्स हैं, डार्क वाले जो चार्ट्स हैं वो फुल टाइम एजुकेशन को शो कर रहे हैं और पार्ट टाइम एजुकेशन को जो लाइट ग्रे है वो शो कर रहे हैं. I'm sorry, I think I have mentioned jobs. It's not job, it's the part-time education और full-time education. Okay. तो इस ग्राफ में आपको क्या नजर आ रहा है कि सबसे ज्यादा रेशियो किस चीज में क्या है?
यस मैम, अगर इनको देखा जाए स्टडी की नजर से तो मेल का ज्यादा हो रहा है एज कम्पेयर टू फीमेल से.
किस चीज में? पार्ट टाइम में या फुल टाइम में?
यस मैम, ये जो है ना फुल टाइम में हो रहा है ज्यादा ना, मतलब शो.
ओके, तो फुल टाइम यहाँ पे हम देख सकते हैं कि द फुल टाइम इज शोन बाय द डार्क कलर. तो वी कैन सी दैट इन फ्रॉम 1990 to 1991 both the male and female have the same ratio. ठीक है, इसमें किसी की ज्यादा नहीं है. एक ही नंबर, मतलब एक ही अमाउंट ऑफ पीपल जो हैं वो इस टाइम फुल टाइम एजुकेशन हासिल कर रहे थे, ठीक है? एंड दैट इज कि आप यहाँ पे अगर आपके पास, क्योंकि वहाँ पे पेंसिल वगैरह होती है, you can draw a line on the question paper if you want to. They both are 200. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
I am unable to write draw a straight line here, but अगर आप और से देखो तो ये दोनों levels जो हैं ये सेम है, ठीक है? तो मेल्स की ज्यादा नहीं है इस केस में. हाँ, अलग अगर आप पार्ट टाइम में देखो जो लाइट ग्रे कलर से दिखाया गया हमें, तो पार्ट टाइम में फीमेल्स की रेशियो ज्यादा है.
यस मैम.
ठीक है, फीमेल्स की रेशियो अराउंड अगर आप देखो 1000 and 1200 के दरमियान, तो यहाँ पे 1100 होगा तकरीबन, ठीक है?
1100 somehow 1100.
हाँ, तो ये फीमेल्स की रेशियो 1100 है, whereas मेल्स की रेशियो 1000 है.
Yes ma'am.
From 1970 to 1971. अब ये I know it's not very readable right now, but I will provide you with the main document जहाँ पे क्वेश्चन दिया गया है. तो you have to write a summary about this. That is your task. All right?
All right. All right.
Okay. Good. Okay, let's see. The tips to remember. Organize logically. Okay, अब आपको एक structure दिया गया. You are given a structure which you have to follow. So if you just go about that, you will be good to go. तो उसको structure को ऊपर नीचे ना करें, आपको introduction सबसे पहले देना है. Then you have to write the overview, then you have to write the key features one by one. तो organize करें हर चीजों को logically. That will really help the reader to easily understand the information you are trying to give in your answer. ओके, इंक्लूड एन ओवरव्यू। अब अक्सर लोग कहते हैं कि ओवरव्यू की जरूरत नहीं है क्योंकि हम की फीचर्स बयान कर रहे हैं अपने सेपरेट पैराग्राफ्स में, लेकिन ओवरव्यू बहुत जरूरी होता है बिकॉज वो एक मेन आइडिया दे रहा होता है कि जो मेन जो चेंजेस हैं वो क्या नहीं। दोनों जो भी कंपैरेटिव आपके पास क्वांटिटीज हैं, इट कुड बी पैराग्राफ और इट कुड बी मैप्स, तो ओवरव्यू लाजमी लिखें आप, ठीक है। द नेक्स्ट इज डिस्क्राइब ऑल चेंजेस। अब जो भी चेंजेस हो रहे हैं आपने उनको स्किप नहीं करना, ठीक है। हाँ, ठीक है कि अगर आपने परसेंटेज कोई लिखनी है, इफ यू आर प्रोवाइडेड विद सम परसेंटेज और विद सम स्पेसिफिक नंबर्स, you have to definitely mention the important and most prominent quantities, but you should not just skip any changes. You have to mention each and every change which is happening in the both quantities. All right, तो उस चीज को आपने skip नहीं करना because that shows how well you have achieved the criteria of task achievement. Okay, how well you have understand all the information that was provided to you. तो changes को कभी आप skip ना करें. The next one is be careful with tenses. That's very important. That comes in the grammatical part. कि अगर आप देख रहे हैं कि एक आपको फिगर दी गई है वो पास्ट के बारे में है, जैसे हम मैप्स की एग्जांपल देख रहे थे, in that example one map was showing the present scenario of that area and the other map was showing the future development. Okay, तो आपको जब भी उनका की फीचर्स आपके लिखने हैं तो जब in the paragraph for key features of the present area you will use present tense. And whereas when you are writing the future developments in the second paragraph, you will use future tense. Okay, like for example, the golf area will be changed by the department store. The department store will take place of the golf area. Okay.
Yes,
दोनों तरह
we
से
can the sentence of the was and will.
Yes, exactly. Was अगर was यूज हो रहा है, मतलब वो अगर कोई पुरानी बात आपको पास्ट में अगर एक तस्वीर दिखाई गई है तो आप वहाँ was यूज करेंगे, ठीक है।
Yes.
तो इस तरह आपके टेंसेस की बहुत ध्यान से उसको देखना है।
All right.
Next is use complex sentences. Now we have discussed this before, but we will discuss it again in this session as well. That you should use complex sentences in your writing. That will definitely help you with the word count. क्योंकि अक्सर लोगों को ये मुश्किल होती है that we are unable to write a lot of things about a certain idea. So the types of sentences, compound sentences, complex sentences that really help you to reach the word count easily. Okay. So we will discuss about all the types of sentences and what is the difference between them in a bit. Now, this is very important and I want you to note it down on your notepad or something because this is very essential to score some good points in your summary because usually जो आपके पास task होते हैं, usually you are provided with graphs or pie charts or some kind of trends that are changing over the years. Okay, so उस case में what you can do is you often find it hard to use different kind of vocabulary. Okay, we use some simple vocabulary. For example, a chart is flowing downwards, we use the word decreasing, or if a chart is rising, so we just use the word increased. So instead of using those basic words, you should take note of this. And if you are seeing these kind of trends, for example, in a graph, some quantity or some value is going up over the years, you should use these words like increased, grew, escalated, rose. Okay, for a quantity that is decreasing over these years, you can use decline, fell, diminished, or went down as well. For example, if something stayed the same in both the scenarios, for example, listening to music in that example was the same for both girls and boys. So you can, instead of staying the same, you can use the word remain steady or remained relatively steady or plateaued or stabilized. Okay, instead of up and down, you can say fluctuated, varied, or differed. Okay, these are some verbs which you can use instead of the basic words we use in our daily life. That will really help you to leave a good impression on the examiner that you have a good command on vocabulary. ओके क्योंकि ये ट्रेंड्स आपको दिए ही दिए जाएंगे, इसमें कोई मतलब शक व शुबे वाली बात नहीं है. देयर इज नो डाउट यू विल बी प्रोवाइडेड विद सम kind of graphs or pie charts or trends, and you will need to use these specific terms in order to write the answer. Okay, so this is very important. You should take note of this as well. And for example, if a graph is decreasing or declining, but the steepness of the graph is a lot. For example, instead of decreasing a little bit over the years, it's just decreased drastically over 1 year. तो इंटेंसिटी ऑफ ट्रेंड्स को डिस्क्राइब करने के लिए भी आपके पास कुछ वर्ड्स हैं जो आपको याद रखने हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, decreased dramatically or increased sharply, escalated substantially or fluctuated considerably, rose markedly or fell slightly. ठीक है, तो ये कुछ words हैं. ये these are not very difficult. You just need to use these words whenever you are practicing to get a good command or good grip on these words, because you will definitely feel the need to use them whenever you are attempting a summary for a graph or a pie chart or these kind of things. Okay, so I hope you have noted these down on your notepad or something.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, also one more thing, you should be very careful about the combination as well. For example, if you use the word decreased sharply, that does not suit very well. Okay, so use the same combination of verb and adverbs whenever you are using these in your text. All right, so make careful combinations of the verbs and adverbs. The next is task 2. Before starting the task 2, I will just quickly give you a overview of the types of sentences, because that would really be helpful in this specific task in the essay, because as you know, the word count for this one is more than the task 1. It is 250 words. Like you have to write minimum 250 words. तो उस केस में अगर आपको मुश्किल फील होती है तो you can use complex sentences and compound sentences in order to achieve that word mark. Okay, so let me just quickly switch my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, ma'am, your screen is able.
Okay, all right, so there are basically 4 types of sentences which we might have learned in our childhood in our schools, but the most basic types are the simple sentences, the compound sentences, and the complex sentences. Okay, let's get into detail of each one of them one by one. So
Yes, ma'am.
okay, just start with the simple sentence. A simple sentence has one independent clause. Okay, what is meant by one independent clause? It is something, a phrase or a combination of words that is enough to deliver the meaning on its own. मतलब कोई भी ऐसा जुमला, कोई भी ऐसे 2-3 अल्फाज जो आप बोलें तो आपकी बात का मतलब clearly, effectively deliver हो जाए. ठीक है, आपको उस बात का completely मतलब आगे किसी बंदे को समझाने के लिए कुछ और part of sentences साथ attach ना करने पड़े. Okay, so a simple sentence is something which has just one independent clause, okay, which is enough to deliver the message on its own. For example, Tom reads novels, Tom reads newspapers, Tom reads novels and newspapers. As you can see, these sentences are delivering the information enough on their own. Okay, they do not need another word or another sentence in order to completely deliver the information to the reader. All right, so that is called simple sentence. You can there some people also say that simple sentence is one independent clause. So that's what you should keep in mind कि कोई भी ऐसा जुमला जो in itself बात को deliver कर रहा है, message को deliver कर रहा है, that is called simple sentence. Okay, the next is compound sentence. अब इसको समझने के लिए first you should know what is coordinating conjunction, conjunctive, adverb, and semicolon. Okay, these 3 things are very important in order to understand the concept of compound sentence. All right, so coordinating conjunction are words like for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Okay, conjunctive adverbs stands for example, they are however, therefore, hence, words like that. A semicolon is, you might know that a dot and a comma together, they are called semicolon. Okay, why these are important? Because these 3 are the main things that form a compound sentence. Okay, a compound sentence has 2 independent clauses मतलब जैसे हमने simple sentence की बात की है, like in simple sentence there was only one independent clause, okay, but in compound sentence there are two independent clauses which are joined by either of these three things. Okay, they could be joined with a coordinating conjunction, they could be joined by a conjunctive adverb, or they could be joined by a semicolon. Okay, so a compound sentence is basically a combination of two independent clauses joined by any of these words. For example, Tom reads novels, but Jack reads comics. Okay, if you just let me switch to my pointer. Okay, if you just don't consider this coordinating conjunction for 1 second, do you see that both of these are independent clauses? Okay, they deliver the meaning fully on their own. Okay, Tom reads novels, okay, and Jack reads comics. All right,
Independence.
but if we are, if we want to combine these two independent sentences or these two independent clauses, we will use a coordinating conjunction. Okay, that is but. So the combination of these two with the help of a coordinating conjunction makes a compound sentence. All right, the next example is Tom reads novels, however Jack reads comics. Now, as we discussed, both of these independent clauses are enough on their own, but if we want to join them together to form a compound sentence, we will definitely need a conjunctive adverb or coordinating conjunction in order to join them together. All right, the third one is Tom reads novels, semicolon, his friends read comics. Okay, so this is again two independent clauses joined by a semicolon. So is everything clear till now? The difference between the simple sentence and compound sentence. The simple sentence is only one independent clause. The compound sentence has two independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction, a conjunctive adverb, or a semicolon. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's move to the next one, which is the complex sentence. Okay. Now, in this type of sentence, there is a combination of both independent clause and dependent clause. ठीक है,
Yes,
what is
ma'am.
meant by that कि एक independent clause वो होता है जो itself अपना meaning deliver कर रहा हो, और एक dependent clause वो होता है जो itself अपना meaning deliver ना कर पा रहा हो, उसको मतलब उस बात को complete करने के लिए आधी अधूरी बात जिस तरह अक्सर बच्चे कर जाते हैं, उस आधी अधूरी बात को complete करने के लिए आपको एक और part of sentence चाहिए. ठीक है, so a complex sentence has one dependent clause joined to an independent clause. All right, for example, although Tom reads novels, Jack reads comics. Okay, अगर आप यहाँ पे सिर्फ ये लिखते कि although Tom reads novels, तो बात incomplete थी. Okay, you would not have been able to deliver the message if you just have said that although Tom reads novels. Okay, the next person is waiting for you to say the rest of the sentence because the sentence is not complete. It has not delivered the full message. Okay, बेशक Tom novel read करता है, Jack comic read करता है. ठीक है, तो always in complex sentence, or you need a dependent clause joined to an independent clause using the same subordinating conjunctions or semicolons or the conjunctive adverbs. All right, Jack reads comics although Tom reads novels. Okay, अब यहाँ पे क्या हुआ है, the placement of although has been changed in between of the dependent sentence and dependent clause and independent clause. All right, so the combinations can be different, but always in a complex sentence there will be a dependent clause and an independent clause. Okay, so the basic difference between the compound sentence and complex sentence is that in compound sentence there are two independent clauses, whereas in the complex sentence there is one dependent clause and one independent clause. Okay, so I hope you have got the main idea of what is the difference between these three types of sentences. There is another type that is called the compound complex sentence, and it is a combination of independent and dependent clauses. but that is a bit difficult at this stage. So I will just recommend you to use, compound and complex sentences in your essay or in whatever you are writing. That will definitely help you to increase the word count. Okay. For example, आप कोई sentence लिखना है essay में, you need to write a sentence in your essay that Tom reads novels. Okay, that is fine. Tom reads novels, that's good. But if you want to read the word count, increase the word count, you can say the same line like this: Tom reads novels, but Jack reads comics. Okay, maybe this part of the sentence is an extra information, but still, in order to increase the word length, you can use this.
Yes,
Okay.
I mean, it is the word limits, word counting.
Yes, Hussain, what are you asking?
Yes, ma'am. I am asking to this sentence. I can increase the word counting.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's get back to the slides we were sharing. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So we have discussed the task 1. We have discussed the summary, what kind of questions we can get, and how to attempt the answer. All right. There's a basic structure which you need to follow. I have given you one task which you have to complete and submit it by tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. All right. But make sure that you set up a timer for yourself in order to manage your time very effectively and increase your speed of writing or typing, whatever you are attempting the question in. Okay, so set a timer for no more than 20 minutes. That way you can definitely practice yourself to write in the given amount of time. Okay, so now task 2 is the essay. Okay, this part of the IELTS writing module is same for general and academic, and this part has more weightage than task 1. And by weightage, I have already mentioned what is meant by that. Okay, so you should pay more attention to this part of your IELTS writing module. Okay, so some types of questions which you can get in the essay are, you can be asked about pros and cons of a specific certain topic. By pros and cons, I mean the positives and negatives aspects of a thing. And the other type of task you can get is you can be given information about something and you will be asked to state the problems of that particular thing, and you can be asked about suggesting alternative solutions for that. Okay, तो या तो आपसे किसी भी चीज़ के बारे के फायदे और नुकसान पूछे जा सकते हैं, और या फिर आपसे आपका ओपिनियन पूछा जा सकता है कि यार ये एक चीज़ है, इसके बारे में आपका क्या ओपिनियन है, और आप अगर इस एग्री नहीं करते या डिसएग्री करते हैं तो आप इसके लिए क्या दूसरे सोल्यूशन सजेस्ट करेंगे. ठीक है. The third one is write about 2 completely opposite points of views and give your own opinion. Okay. कोई भी इस तरह की कॉन्ट्रडिक्टिंग बात हो सकती है. कोई भी टॉपिक दिया जा सकता है कि एक बंदा ऐसे कहता है, एक बंदा ऐसे कहता है, इसके बारे में आपकी क्या राय है. All right. So you can be asked about your own opinion about a certain thing. And the fourth one is write about your opinion for or against a standard. All right. Again, you can be asked about an opinion about certain laws or current affairs that are happening around the world. So these 4 types of questions are quite common for the essay part, and you can be asked about anything on the same terms of these 4 things. All right. Let's see an example. Advances in technology and automation have reduced the need for manual labor. Okay, they have stated the certain thing. Therefore, working hours should be reduced. Okay, they have said a clause or an argument related to that first sentence they said. Okay, so to what extent do you agree? Now they have asked for your opinion. Okay, पहले उन्होंने एक बात की कि advances in technology and automation have reduced the need for manual labor, कि जो हमारे इर्द गिर्द जो तरक्की हो रही है, जो टेक्नोलॉजी आ रही है और ऑटोमेशन पे हो रही हैं सारी चीज़ें, उन्होंने जो मैनुअल लेबर है उसकी ज़रूरत को काफ़ी कम कर दी है, क्योंकि सारे काम मतलब रोबोटिक्स कर रही होती है, रोबोट्स कर रहे होते हैं, कंप्यूटर कर रहा होता है. ओके, तो उसकी वजह से जो मैनुअल लेबर्स के जो वर्किंग आवर्स हैं वो भी कम हो गए. ओके, तो इस बात से आप किस हद तक सहमत हैं? They have asked for your opinion on this thing. All right. तो बेसिकली जो ऐसे का मकसद होता है वो ये होता है दैट इज असेसिंग यू टू लाइक you have to present a clear idea and well organized argument, and if you have any evidence or example or a certain moment which you can remember that has happened in your life, you can definitely add that in your opinion as well. Okay, अगर आपको कोई पर्सनल ओपिनियन है, अगर आपने वो चीज खुद एक्सपीरियंस किया है या आपने किसी अपने आसपास कहीं होते हुए देखी है, तो आप उसके बारे में लिख सकते हैं. ओके, दैट इज ऑल्सो वन ट्रिक टू इंक्रीज द वर्कआउट. जब आपको कोई भी ऐसी चीज दी जाती है जिसके बारे में आपका अपना एक्सपीरियंस होता है, तो उसके बारे में आप ज्यादा लिख सकते हैं, बिकॉज आपको ज्यादा उस चीज के बारे में पता होता है, आप ज्यादा डिटेल्स ऐड कर सकते हैं उसके बारे में. ठीक है, तो बेसिकली इन एन एसे यू आर रिक्वायर्ड टू first of all you have to understand what is being asked from you, and you have to deliver each and every aspect that has been asked in the question. Okay, और वो आइडिया जो आप दे रहे हैं वो कंफ्यूजिंग नहीं होना चाहिए, दैट शुड बी इन कोहेरेंस पे चीजें, दैट शुड बी इन लिंक टू चीजें. ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर आप एक चीज से फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ में एग्री कर रहे हैं तो लास्ट पैराग्राफ में आते आते आप डिसएग्री कर रहे हैं उससे. ठीक है, if you have given a point of view, if you are agreeing with this thing, you should stay on the same line during throughout the whole essay. Okay, now the use of vocabulary. Okay, let's consider the same example. We can use different words in order to use in our answer and give the examiner a good impression that we have a strong command on vocabulary. Okay, for example, instead of the word advances, the word of development can be used. Okay, instead of technology, the word of digitalization can be used. Okay, similarly for reduced, you can use minimized or decreased. All right, the need can be replaced by the word demand. Okay, manual labor can be replaced by workforce. All right, therefore can be replaced by as a result, and working hours can be replaced by duty timings. Okay, the only purpose of telling you this is that you can also note these words down, because like decrease and increase and therefore these are like often used in the essays, so you might need to use different synonyms of those words in order to show a good command on vocabulary. Okay, instead of rewriting the whole thing provided in the question, आपको as it is वही wording use नहीं करनी, आपको उसकी जगह पे different words use करने. Okay, and one example of that is this. Okay, development in digitalization and automation have decreased the demand for workforce. As a result, the duty timings should be minimized. To what extent do you agree? Okay, now I have used the synonym words I have mentioned here, and the message is the same, but only my choice of words is different. Okay, I hope you understand. All right, what you should keep in mind while writing an essay. Okay, अब जिस तरह हमने summary का एक structure discuss किया है कि if you follow that structure you will be easily able to deliver all the aspects that has been asked from you in the question, and also you will easily write the answer. You write your answer more than the minimum word count. Okay, similarly for essay there is a basic structure which you need to follow. First of all, you have to read the question carefully. कभी कभार जिस तरह अभी हमने example discuss किया उसमें सिर्फ agreement का पूछा हुआ था. Sometimes you can be asked to talk about two different opinions. Yeah, there are two parts of the question. For example, आप एग्री करते हैं या नहीं, अगर आप डिसएग्री करते हैं तो उसकी कोई ऑल्टरनेटिव सॉल्यूशन भी प्रोवाइड करें. ठीक है, तो ये दो पार्ट्स हो गए उस चीज के. So read the question very carefully because there are often two parts to the question. Now, as far as the structure is concerned, plan 4 paragraphs. First of all, that's the first thing you should do. You have read the question. You should not just panic and start writing, because that will definitely make you waste a lot of time. First, you have to spend like 3-4 minutes to relax and come up with ideas, what you can write about it. Plan 4 paragraphs at least. Okay, first paragraph should be about introduction. Okay, you can just reword the question, which I just did in the previous slide. You can just rephrase the question, and you can just talk about what you are going to say in the upcoming paragraphs, like give the main idea of the body paragraphs. So that will just be enough for your introduction paragraph. Okay. First, you have to write introduction, then you have to write body paragraph number 1, then you have to write body paragraph number 2, and then the last, you will conclude your whole essay with a conclusion. Okay. This is a very general statement, and like you just have to write the main idea. जैसे हम बात का एक कहते हैं ना खुलासा निकालते हैं सारी essay के बाद, तो आपने बस एंड पे कंक्लूजन में वो चीज़ बयान कर देनी है कि मैंने जो इतनी बात की है उसका ये हल है, ये मसले हैं लेकिन इसका ये हल है, इस तरह सॉल्व हो सकते हैं. ओके. सो प्लान 4 पैराग्राफ्स बिफोर स्टार्टिंग टू राइट. दैट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ओके. 3-4 मिनट लगाएं, पहले सोचें उसके बारे में कि ये जो भी मुझसे पूछा गया है इसके बारे में मेरे दिमाग में क्या आइडियाज हैं, कोई मेरी अपनी पर्सनल एग्जांपल है या नहीं जो मैं दे सकता हूँ या दे सकती हूँ, और अगर है तो उसको मैं बॉडी पैराग्राफ्स में किस जगह पे रखूं और कैसे मतलब अरेंज करूं. ठीक है. ऑर्गेनाइज लॉजिकली. ओके. सो दिस इज द बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ अटेम्प्टिंग एन एसे. ओके. लाइकली जिस तरह हमने समरी के लिए स्ट्रक्चर डिस्कस किया था उसी तरह ऐसे का भी ये स्ट्रक्चर आपको फॉलो करना है. ऑलराइट. Generate ideas and try to start with a personal point of view. As I said, personal point of view definitely gives you a leverage over the word counts or the type of sentences you can use, because you will be talking about your own experience. अगर आपका experience नहीं भी है तो कभी कभार आप मतलब खुद से बना के भी experience अपना बयान कर सकते हैं, just to increase the suspense in the essay कि इस तरह हुआ था and that is what I gained from that experience, मुझे इससे ये सबक मिला या इस तरह कुछ. Okay. Use complex sentences and use good conjunctions and bodies. जिस तरह अभी हमने बात की कि use but, for, whereas, however. These words are very important in order to join and give a good impression to the reader, to the examiner. Okay. Last step is very important as well. As I said that you should leave at least 40 minutes for this essay part. The reason of saying that is that before attempting, you will just spend 3 to 4 minutes in generating the ideas. The rest of 30 minutes you will use for the writing part. And in the last 5 or 4 minutes, if you have some time left, you should definitely reread the whole paragraph, and that way you will be able to find little mistakes of grammar or punctuation. If you have not tried the name of a noun in capital word, you should just look for such kind of little mistakes, and rereading or revising the whole thing in the end definitely help you with that. Okay. So always make sure to reread if you have any time left. Okay, so that's for the structure part. Now, like, these are some examples which are also your tasks. I have given you like one task of yours is to write a summary, and the other is to write an essay. Now you have a choice. You can use any of the topics from these two. I'm just giving you this choice to do not bound you with your ideas. So you can choose whatever you like, whatever topic you like, but you have to write the essay according to the instructions I have given, by following the same structure of the paragraph, and by keeping a time limit on yourself as well. Like, just put a stopwatch or a timer besides you of 40 minutes at least, and then you should start writing. Okay. And try to like write or type in that kind of medium which you could easily send me as well, because I need to check your answers and I need to provide you feedback on what things could be done better, or what are the mistakes you are making in these essays. All right. So these are the two questions. Number one is, some people believe that violence on television and computer games has a damaging effect on society. Others deny that these factors have any significant influence on people's behavior. ठीक है, दो contradicting बातें हो रही हैं. Okay, there are two contradicting point of views that are mentioned here. What is your opinion? Now, what you get from just by reading the question, that you are asked to provide your opinion, but there are also two options. Like, there are some people who agree that computer games and television has a damaging effect on society, whereas other people deny this thing. Okay, there are two contradicting point of views. तो इस बारे में आपका ख्याल, आप किस जगह पर स्टैंड करते हैं, आपका क्या ख्याल है इस बारे में? ठीक है. अब ऐसे केस में आपसे सॉल्यूशंस पूछे नहीं गए, लेकिन एंड पे अगर आपके पास आपको लग रहा है कि आपने कम लिखा है, तो आप आखिरी कंक्लूजन के पैराग्राफ में आप इसके सॉल्यूशन प्रोवाइड कर सकते हैं. Okay, you have that like ability to do so. If you have any ideas for that, you can definitely utilize it to increase the word count or increase the write the conclusion paragraph. Okay. The second question is, smoking is a habit that claims many lives and is a great drain on the health services. One way to combat smoking would be to make it illegal. Okay, they have given one solution for the problem. What are the pros and cons of such a government policy? अब वो कह रहे हैं कि ये जो एक सोल्यूशन है कि इसको इलीगल कह दिया जाए, तो इस सोल्यूशन के प्रोज एंड कॉन्स क्या हैं? ये वन पार्ट हो गया क्वेश्चंस का. ओके, द सेकंड पार्ट इज व्हाट आर द अल्टरनेटिव स्ट्रेटजीज दैट यू कैन सजेस्ट टू कॉम्बैट स्मोकिंग. ओके, अब जैसे हमने बात की कि आपको क्वेश्चन केयरफुली रीड करना है. यू नीड टू केयरफुली रीड द क्वेश्चन बिकॉज समटाइम्स देयर आर टू parts to the text. Okay, there are two parts to the question, like in this one. Okay, first you have to write about the pros and cons, and then you have to give them alternative strategies to combat smoking. Okay, so for all of you, you can choose whichever like topic you want, and then you have to write an essay about it. Okay, and we will check it in the next class. All right, I see we have some chats. Is there any question? You can just unmute it and we can discuss that. Yes, you should not, like, overall the IELTS academic writing module is of 60 minutes. So you should divide your time very, very carefully, as the task one is relatively smaller. So you should not spend more than 20 minutes on that task. And for the essay, you need to write more and it's a lengthier part. So you should not spend more than 40 minutes on this task as well. Okay. So in that way, you will be able to, write about both things in 60 minutes. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right, that's great. Now, I have written this answer before, but I will not discuss it right now because I want to see your attempt first, and then we will discuss what could be done better and what could be included or excluded from your essays. All right. So that's it for today's session. Please do the assignments because that are for your own practice. And apart from the assignments as well, there are some practice questions available. So you should attempt that as well. And wherever you find anything confusing or you do not understand anything, I will be here to help. You can just reach me out and I'll be happy to help you out. Okay. So that's it for today's session. See you guys in the next one. Okay. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.